Hi, my name is Lauren Gale, and I am the author of Confessions of a Recovering Drama Queen. And I wanted to take a couple minutes today and talk about fear, how it shows up in your life, and how you show up for yourself and your fear. So I am terrified of flying, have been since I was a very young kid. We had a bad flight when I was a young girl. My mom was terrified of flying. So flying has been a huge issue for me. I have been flying my whole life throughout the world by myself, but every flight, my brain tells me that the plane's gonna fall out of the sky. To the point of, I actually had to take a couple years off because I do travel for work. I had to take a couple years and just take the train because I couldn't get on another plane. So I would take the train from Los Angeles to Texas for 48 hours rather than stepping foot on a plane. Obviously that was not very effective. And then when I got another job, part of my territory was Hawaii. So there's no trains to Hawaii. So I had to get back on a plane, and I was grateful for that because it forced me to really face my fears. So yesterday, my smoke alarm went off. It was very loud, and my dog is terrified of that sound. She was shaking uncontrollably. She was crying. She was petrified. So what do? You comfort someone that's scared like that, right? Even though that fear is not real, and it wasn't, because I made sure and I called Southwest Gas and all that good stuff. She's terrified. The fear is real. So I nurtured her through that fear. I told her she's safe, she's okay. I hugged her. I gave her a lot of love. I didn't scold her. I didn't say, stop being afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. So what do you do when you feel fear? Do you get frustrated with yourself? Do you get annoyed? Or do you treat yourself with patience and kindness? There's a lot of methods and tools that I've learned to get me through my flights. So from meditation, to prayer, to affirmation, to positive self-talk. So seriously talking to my fear and talking to that part of my mind that tells me that the plane's gonna crash in a really kind, nice way, I found is a lot more helpful than getting frustrated and angry with myself. Because emotions and feelings need to be acknowledged. And the minute you acknowledge them and you give them a voice, they usually just dissipate. So with that said, how do you show up for yourself with kindness and compassion and grace? Imagine your dog being afraid. Imagine your best friend. Imagine your child. When they're afraid, what do? How can you show up in that same way for yourself? And by the way, being afraid doesn't mean that you shouldn't do, obviously, if there's a real fear, like you're afraid to cross a busy street, that's probably a reasonable fear. But if fear stops you from living your life, how can you take that step? How can you take that plane? Hypnosis is very effective. Self-talk is very effective. And I found for me, every time I take that step, every time I take a plane, I feel better. And when I land, I feel like I conquered my fear once again. So I hope that you are kind to yourself when those uncomfortable feelings come up, because that's part of being a human. Those uncomfortable feelings aren't bad or good. We label them bad or good. Fear just trying to keep you safe. It's part of our survival mode, right? But that fear of being on a plane is not rational. There's really nothing you can do, which is part of the fear. So show up for yourself when you feel like that. And don't let fear stop you from living your best life. because you deserve it. So be good to yourself, be good to others, and today and every day, in every situation, and with every person, I hope you see the light and the love and the opportunity. And I hope you choose love over fear. Namaste.